Hi students, we are starting week 3. It's a very busy week. You have 3 assignments that are coming up on Monday. I just kind of want to send a video out and just touch base with everyone. So let's go ahead and just talk about this last assignment and we will move forward from there. So with that, everybody did, actually overall well. With this, we're asking for the principal diagnosis, and it is going to be the idiopathic aplastic anemia. Okay, so keep in mind that fatigue is going to be integral to the anemia, so we don't code that. Okay, let's move on here. The POA designation was yes. The biggest thing that I notice is going into this is make sure you keep track of those decimal points, where you are putting them. Because if you miss a decimal point or put a comma in there, the system is going to mark it wrong. And with this being an advanced coding course, I'm not going to change it. So, because if you are working, at a job and you send it your code in wrong, it's going to come back. So it's just good practice to get everybody working to make sure before you hit that submit button, your decimals are where they are supposed to be. So just a little reminder. And also when I go through your assignments, I am adding information. So make sure you go through what I add within the assignment. I have some good information for you. I won't be doing videos all the time. Sometimes if you're really off on the assignment, I'm going to send you a personal video to make sure that you are on the right track and, to make sure you're doing your best that you can do. What I am going to do here real quickly though, just to brush everybody up on this 3M system. Now I have 3M. I'm not sure if you're using 3M or if you're using a different encoder, but let's just go through 3M. It's going to be a good review for everybody. So I got my emit, discharge date. So the next thing here, my system's not real fast here this morning. Okay, the patient went home. A big important thing here is the emit diagnosis. I'm just going to go ahead and put the principal diagnosis in for the emit. One thing, if you do that, make sure you also put the principal diagnosis in where it should be. Don't accidentally put in the secondary diagnosis where the principal diagnosis should be. So once again, there we go. All right, so that's my emitting. Now I'm going to add the principal diagnosis, hopefully. So just why I'm waiting for my system, couple of things is if you do have any questions, make sure you send it to me. I'm fairly quick about getting back to you. So, okay, we are moving on. All right, we have our principal diagnosis. And this is with our goiter. Okay, again, it was the multinodular goiter. It had everything in the statement. Let's get our next diagnosis in. This one was tricky. Some of you had H90.3, which was bilateral. Keep in mind, it's unspecified. If you look through the documentation, they don't really state anywhere what ear, if it's left or right, or if it's both. So unfortunately, with that documentation, we have to go with unspecified. Okay, let's go ahead and put in our last diagnosis, which is our osteoporosis with current pathological, or without pathological fracture. Okay, so I have my diagnosis. Now I am going to put in my procedure. And actually, everybody did well on the procedure. Okay, so we have a principal resection, okay? Again, remember the difference when we're in PCS, difference between excision and resection. Resection, they're taking it out completely, where excision is just a little part of it, or a part of it. So again, resection, they're taking out the whole gland. All right, so I have everything in place here. And one thing I do like about 3M, If I right click, okay, I can add my POAs. And with these, yes, these all were present on admission. None of them are exempt. So I'm going to put yes, yes, yes to all of them. So now I have my present on admission. Okay, so the other thing I want to go through just to make sure everybody is understanding. Here's my DRG. Okay, here is the relative weight, and here is the price. Okay, I had some discretion. I just want to make sure everybody's reading that correctly. Okay, so let's just kind of go through. Here's the last one here. It matched up with what I had. Okay, so and then it just, with the rest of the assignment, we had to figure out the hospital, it gave us the hospital base rate. We had to figure out the reimbursement. Okay, so coming up, make sure you go through all the lectures that we have coming up. We have, actually, let's go ahead and look at that real quickly. I have you in. Coming up, we have the adverse effects and poisoning assignment, injury, trauma assignment, and the OB and newborn assignment submission. So again, make sure you look through the lectures, go through all the practice that you can get. I always tell students, practice, practice, practice. So have a great week, and let me know if anybody has any questions.